In this video, I will transform this garbage looking PC into a gaming beast, and I will teach you exactly how to do it yourself. First of all, I got this Dell optiplex 9020 for around $100, and it came with an i5 4570, 8GB of RAM, and a 500GB HDD. And finally, the power supply in this thing is 290 watts, which isn't all that great, but it's good enough for what we're gonna do today. And this is the entire pre-built. It's not ready for gaming. It can only do basic web browsing or maybe Excel sheets or other things like that, but it cannot game, and that's what we're gonna work on. First thing that we need to add is an extra 8GB of RAM, because 8GB ain't gonna cut it. So I bought this stick of 8GB DDR3 for like $18. Yes, DDR3 is super cheap where I live. I'm also gonna add 128GB SSD for the operating system, which also cost me around $18. And the final thing that we need to add to this ugly PC to turn it into a gaming beast is a GPU. But since we only have a 290 watt power supply, we don't really have a lot of choices. And this power supply doesn't have a PCIe power cable, so we cannot even plug in any GPU that requires external power. So I went with the GTX 1050 Ti, one that doesn't require an external power cable, and it cost me around $45. Before we start the shocking benchmarks, let's paint this thing. I took it apart and I started painting the outside case of it. Sadly, I didn't record the entire process. However, here are the results of my paint job. I believe it looks good. I believe that I didn't do the best paint job possible, but it does look better than what it used to look like, and now we're truly gaming. And if you want to do that yourself, just buy one of these can sprays. They cost $1 per each can, so like for $2 or $3 you can completely transform how this computer looks, and you can buy whatever colors you like. For me personally, I did it with red and white. You can do whatever colors you like, and I believe it's a really nice touch to kind of change how it looks. And honestly, the reason that I painted it is because it looks better in the thumbnail. Anyways, let's get to the benchmarks. And the first game that we have for today is Counter-Strike 2. We're getting around 100 FPS. The CPU is being utilized up to 70 to 80%. And honestly, the experience was really smooth. I didn't face any lags. It was just a consistent 90-ish FPS, and overall this PC can run every single competitive game, things like Counter-Strike 2, as you guys can see, League of Legends, if you consider Roblox a competitive game, I don't know. Anyways, Rocket League, any game like that will run on this PC with no issues at all. And we can move on to the next game, and here is where the PC struggles a little bit. Alan Wake 2. Despite me putting the settings to as low as possible with the resolution on 720p and the highest possible FSR upscaling, we're getting around 30 FPS, and honestly, I guess it is playable if you don't mind that it looks like a PlayStation 1 game. Other than that, I just don't know, it drops down to 20 FPS. See, this is like below the bare minimum for what is required to run modern games like Alan Wake 2, and so don't expect much when you run 2024, 2025 or 2026 games. This is not going to run well on this computer. And with that, we can move on to the next game, Cyberpunk 2077. I put the resolution on 720p, FSR to performance, and the rest of the settings to as low as possible, and still we're getting like 15 to 20 FPS. It is not playable. It's just like, there's no sugarcoating this. It's just not playable. It looks awful. It feels awful. Like, you just can't play this game. Forget it. This is the lowest possible settings. 720p, you know, everything cranked to as low as possible. It's just not really playable. I mean, outside, as you guys can see, we're getting around 30 FPS, but it's just not consistent, and it's not the best experience. And we can move on to the next game, Forza Horizon 5. I put the resolution on 720p, as you guys can see, upscaling at balanced, and the rest of the preset on very low, the lowest possible settings, and we're getting a respectable 50 FPS. I mean, sure, it does look like a PlayStation 1 game, but it feels good. It is smooth to a degree, and you guys can see that both the CPU and the GPU are being utilized 100%. So yeah, this is the edge of games that you can play. This is like the heaviest game that you can possibly play on this PC. And we can move on to the next game. Ghost of Tsushima. We're getting a respectable 30 FPS on 1080p on very low balanced FSR. And honestly, it does look okay. Like, it doesn't look too bad and it feels okay. It's not terrible. I would say Ghost of Tsushima is playable on this PC. And with that, we can move on to the next game. Horizon Forbidden West, then yeah, it's not doing great. We're getting around 20 FPS. It is not playable at all whatsoever. It's a pain to play this game on this FPS, and I would not recommend it. Even if you're desperate, just don't play this game on this build, please. It's not fun. It is horrible. And we can move on to the next game. Red Dead Redemption 2. We're getting a respectable, stable 30 FPS, and honestly, you can play Red Dead Redemption 2 on this PC without any issues, although you will have to crack down the settings to as low as possible, but overall, it is playable, it isn't unplayable, and so you can play this game on this PC if you really want to, and we can move on to the next game. GTA V Enhanced. Resolution on 1080p, preset on minimum, upscaling FSR, quality, and we're getting a respectable 70 FPS. It is more than playable. Like, this is a good experience, and despite the settings being to as low as possible, I think the game still looks okay. I don't think it looks too bad, and honestly, this game can run pretty good on this PC with no issues. Keep in mind, this is the enhanced edition and not the legacy edition, so expect a little bit less performance than if you run the legacy edition. However, the game is smooth, you can play it with no issues whatsoever, and we can move on to the next game. Minecraft. Who doesn't love Minecraft? We're getting a respectable 130 FPS, and it depends on where you are and what you're doing. I tried to blow up some TNT to see what happens, and surprisingly, all the TNT exploded with no issues. I didn't experience any drops while the TNT was exploding, and so with that, we can come to the conclusion of this PC. This PC can run any game that is old. This PC cannot run modern games. By modern, I mean 2024, 2025, and 2026. Anything below that is 99% likely to run on this PC 60 FPS with no issues at all. So if you just want to start gaming on a PC, if you want the cheapest possible PC that is usable for everything, I do recommend this PC. And if you want to run emulators like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, or maybe older consoles like maybe some Nintendo console, whatever, you absolutely can do that on this PC. However, if you plan on running modern games, this is not gonna cut it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.